Good. You didn't go?
Hey, and welcome everyone. Today is November 8th, Election Day in the United States. Also, a lunar eclipse full moon. The moon is in Taurus. Epoch is 375. We are doing our team planning. The purpose of this meeting is to get together and work out some of the details. Decisions may be made. New tasks may be given. All kinds of things can happen. We're a small group, but welcome from YouTube and any other folks. Please come and see us on Telegram, etc., etc. We'll begin the meeting. We'll rejoin the meeting already in progress. We've already talked a little bit about the Ikigai and the Ikigai survey that we are putting out for the Cardano Summit, and I feel like now we are going to move into the Cardano Summit. We do have a hard stop in about 17 minutes. Welcome, everyone.
Right.
Yeah. Please, Nori.
So are we going to meet at 1800 for the Ikigai, or are we going to move it, or are we going to reschedule with Joe? I just wanted to clarify there's a conflict with several of us.
Yeah, I mean,
we could try to. How long are you guys going to meet? We could shift it over, or because it might go long. It went really long yesterday.
Lucas couldn't make it right the hour after, so that was a challenge. Everyone could have made it, except for Lucas. So yeah. Let's ask Joe, but Joe, I will ask, but now, yeah, it's still too late for her. It's still like
5 in the morning or something, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, like early morning for her. Yeah, I'm going to write in the group for Little Fish if you can move it 1 hour forward.
Okay. The other option is to combine the meetings so that Joe can show up and then we just continue after with the specific stuff with the Impact Tribe.
And it could be just like a breakout room so that at least you guys are available in case we get a blocker. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Although with the impact stuff at the summit, I think everybody probably wants to be involved there.
Oh, yeah, true. They do have overlap in subject matter for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to bring Joe into that actually anyway, right? And then we can continue afterward with Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. And basically, we're speaking about, for Grace and Bruno, we are speaking about Ikigai by Little Fish. So Little Fish is kind of Bruno, it is. It's a community-driven project that is basically creating a new type of interaction between colonies. And Ikigai is one element, you know, of that, of what I love to do and what I'm good at and how I connect to what is needed and what the community can pay for. So, you know, I mean, there is and we are kind of, it's already a year, going on for a year. It's advancing quite fast. And now we are talking, how can we use the Ikigai in the coming conference? So we are kind of trying to build a simple application for that everyone can tell what they love and what they're good at and kind of start playing around with that. And so you're welcome. Yeah, please.
Well, just one of the things, you know, that kind of made it clear to me and was a big innovation from yesterday was it's basically one of those personality tests, which is a sort of standard format of, you know, you answer these questions and then at the end of it, it says, oh, you know, your favorite cupcake is blah, blah, blah. But in this case, it'll say where you might fit in the blockchain Catalyst Cardano universe. You know, what kind of role you might be in Catalyst, what kind of person or fit you might be in Little Fish or another DAO type organization. And that was the big innovation for me yesterday, because it made it clear. It's like, oh, right, this is what we're building. And it can be very cool and very, you know, we don't want it to be clinical. We want it to be human and fun artistic, more poetic than data collection. But we did realize that is what we're doing, is trying to collect data. So we do have a group that is looking at the legal waiver kind of parts of it. And a big group, maybe 8 people from Little Fish are dedicated, and they shifted their sprint schedule. We shifted our sprint schedule with Little Fish to extend for 1 week to get this done. So it was kind of an all hands call to action, which was really fun.
And if you look on there is 2 resources app, a spreadsheet and a Miro, that you can look of what we are working on for that specific small project. I mean, Little Fish is much bigger. But okay, so we decided regarding Joe and the call. Let's go into the summit, if you don't mind.
Sure. Basically, the summit question is sort of boiled down to what are you going to do, and which part of the summit? How will you spend summit weekend? Either being there live, being at a local event, or being there virtually. And we've got a data collection form and a spreadsheet to try to collect that, and a MiroBoard, which I can share here shortly.
Yeah.
And the data collection has been slow going. Not many folk are responding. But here is the MiroBoard.
Yoram, you need to put your impact stuff into the form.
Which form?
The one where you're collecting all the impact events around the world.
Okay, so I didn't put this one.
Let me get the link.
Oh.
And we need to market that form a little bit more. We currently have 1 response from John T, I think.
Okay, one thing. Okay, this is the form. Perfect. I will fill it up. One thing at the event that is happening. Again, we got probably okay from CF for the one that we are doing, and we just need to promote it to everyone. The idea is we are going to have 1 hour, probably before lunch on the 21st, and we are going to present around 10 projects. Right, so Bruno, I would love to present Empower, that you present 5 minutes, and WADA will be there, and Sustainable ADA will be there, and Little Fish will be there, and so there will be quite a lot of projects, and Impact Scope, and so on.
Oh, we're gonna do 5 minutes, or wasn't this the like 1 minute and 1 slide, or 2 minutes and 1 slide? Was that in the mix? It was going to kind of be a fun facilitation design.
That's someone, I think Nori mentioned that, or someone else mentioned that part.
What was that?
That people present only for 2 minutes. Yeah,
like the idea of like a mixer, or sort of a speed, just to get like introductions done, and then spend the bulk of the idea just being like, in this 1 hour we want to introduce and highlight people that are in the community. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's something we're doing at the Vancouver Summit, is lightning rounds, where people, if they have a slide, they can put a slide up, 1 slide, and then talk for 2 minutes about what they're doing. And then we're trying to cycle a bunch of people through, so that, because it's primarily a networking event, and it's a great way to just say, here, this is what I'm doing, and then it'll short circle a little bit of the wandering the room, trying to figure out what everyone is up to. And it'll naturally push people to the right other people to connect and have those conversations. So that's what we're doing. I don't know if it'll work in the Lausanne Summit, if it has the same kind of format or not.
Excellent.
I would say I would make a choice based on how original and different the projects are from one another, because if they're pretty easy to understand, like, hey, I'm saving a rainforest and doing carbon credits, 5 minutes per project is going to bore people to death. But if some of them are really super different and original, then 5 minutes is fine. But having written 150 white papers, I can say probably 90% are so easy to explain in 1 minute and similar.
That's a good point. Which projects are easy to explain or similar to other projects?
And then put those one together, and then the ones that are a little more complex, maybe give 5 minutes. You know, you could say, here are all the ones that are working with carbon credits, and then having them that like do a quick round of one after the other, and then here are all the ones that are whatever the categories are.
Good point. I like that. What else is going on at that?
Yoram, what were you thinking about this? Sorry to jump in, just
Hey,
because
Melanie.
it seems like you had mentioned the presentation and asking Bruno to do 5 minutes. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Grace. I mean, it can be 1 minute or it can be 10 minutes. I mean, people like to speak about what they do, right? But I mean, you kind of give 1 minute. I mean, we have 1 hour. It's not a lot of time. And there will be people, and until you change between one to the others. I think overall, I mean, 5 minutes, present short what you do, can give example. And I think the idea there is really to give a space for many people to present and connect. That's really the idea. So
there's also the balance between too much information, like going from one, like if you think about 1 minute commercials from one to the next to the next to the next, that can overwhelm. Whereas if you take time for one project in between the lightning rounds, you have a chance to settle into something. I'm thinking about Earth Trust project, you know, to present something like that in 1 minute. Wow, that gets lost in the shuffle of all sorts of information. So
yeah,
some sort of a balance.
Yeah, I think every project you can present in one, and you should be able to present in 1 minute, and then 5 minutes, and then 1 hour.
Lightning rounds is not to explain everything, but to give that taste, so that in the networking segment, you know, you want to go talk to that person for more details.
I think rather than talking about it in theory, it would be helpful to actually look at the projects, who wants to present, which ones do fall into categories, and then we won't be having a theoretical conversation. We can actually like be specific.
Yeah, and we're probably talking about two different things here. Like the Vancouver Cardano Summit is a networking event. So the goal is to get people talking to each other. The Lausanne Cardano Summit is more of a presentation space. So I don't know if lightning rounds makes as much sense. That's what I said. I don't know what the event is going to look like, and if there's networking opportunities in between the presentations.
It also depends on what you think the purpose of a presentation is, because at events like that, because when I listen into, like I was listening into Cosmoverse, when I see a lot of people building on it, it's impressive. So even lightning rounds can like give a very good impression of the chain. Like, look who's building, look who's building, look who's building, look who's building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit in the light of the impact event that we did, right? A little bit, if you think about it.
Like Impact Fest.
The Impact Fest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people coming to present, you know, and the energy was there, right? So, and to be fair, some presented longer, like Dr. Mihaela, and some presented shorter, and right, like Imbalaz and so on. But the ambiance was good there.
Can we do both? You know, a little bit of both. Like, is there some sort of a presentation reel already for the 1 minute? you know, to fill in, you can do that you can do 10 proposals in 10 minutes and then have someone settled in for 5. Because Empower, you know, has a huge project. Yeah, I don't know.
Recordings is an innovation for sure. So that we know, and then you can just stack them up. It's not like the handoffs can be very quick, pump, 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 and then, you know, and it has a beat, a rhythm. That's a human thing. Yeah.
All right, we have.
Yeah, but I do know that we got.
left.
Yeah, but I do know that. What do you all think about Wednesday? And then in 1 minute, here's what I had sort of discussed yesterday with Simon. Basically, what are you doing for the summit? It's just, what are you doing for the summit? It can be a kind of a thing, and then an onboarding of, you know, basically the two topics are, what are you doing for the summit, and onboarding. And then we just collect that data, and maybe it's a bit of a working thing where we run around and ask our friends and establish that list of, you know, what is our membership doing for the conference, whether it's a local, virtual, or in place. And then we can go about the task of supporting them as C4C, as climate activists there, to put the goal being to put climate change, environmental action, which I include organizational and DAO work in, because of, you know, institutions need to change, and that's what we're working on. So what do you think of that, or for our meetings tomorrow?
Can we add the Ikigai as like a working group? Because that's a good space and the right people to work on that.
Okay. And I'm calling it the Ikigai survey at Lausanne, or at Summit.
So time change, sorry, I'm really lost here, because this would be the right time. So we're 1 hour earlier for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We're
does the
1 hour.
UTC, that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the...
I would love to move it an hour forward if everyone agree.
An hour forward?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, to the kind of original UTC +2 became UTC +1 now.
Oh, okay.
So, but the only thing is for tomorrow, for the meetup, you mean? Or for all our meetings?
Yeah, you know what? I'm flexible based on you. I'm actually flexible.
Because some of them will run into, like today would run into Gimbal Labs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so all of ours.
Friday, I'm flexible as well. I don't know what happens after on Friday. Might work out.
Yeah.
So we could maybe switch Wednesday and Fridays.
We could, yeah. It's just, yeah, for me, it's a little unsustainable to start at 7 a.m. every day.
Yeah, I'm having a heart challenge too.
Yeah. So
yeah,
why don't we make that a topic for tomorrow, since the community will be there? And then
sounds good. So do it, have the meetup at the regular time though, tomorrow, which would be 7 a.m. our time, but also could be confusing because of the time change. People may show up late, early, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Friday would be safe to go to a later one with us, right?
I already show it at 8 a.m. I think whoever set it up put it in Pacific time instead of UTC. So it did.
Perfect. Yes, I think that was probably me. Okay, so that was accidental. So we're an hour later on Friday. Same time tomorrow. You're hour later on Friday. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And how can I support you with the Lausanne presentation?
Yeah, I guess I need to start collecting who wants to present. I need to kind of make a list on that. Who wants to present? I mean, I know who is there already, but just collect them together.
Sean's coming, right?
Sean will be there, Little Fish
Yeah.
will be there, Sustainable Leader will be there.
So
Elsie
these
will
are
be
going to
there.
be people in person
Mhm.
on a stage, actually.
Peter's also there.
Peter's there, fantastic.
Peter will be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you going to have it set up so that you're sitting in chairs, or
I
how
don't
does
know
that
yet.
look?
We are going to get the which rooms we got later this week, but I asked for minimum 50 people room.
So a room for 50 people?
Yeah,
And is it's a physical room, not a Zoom room, right?
it's a physical room. Yeah.
So a physical room, table with chairs. I'm just trying to visualize what it looks like, right?
It's a conference, but yeah, it's going to be like a meeting room, like within the conference space. Like it's very close by, but it's going to be kind of a kind of a meeting room with tables and chairs. Yeah.
And then as far as presenting it to the world, is somebody in there with a camera on, you guys? This is
I think
good
they're
question.
all recorded somehow.
They'll record it somehow, but Zoom, we sit in one place and it's no problem, right? Goes back and forth. But in a physical situation, it's going to be quite different. So
yeah, although there's options to attend virtually, so I think they're setting up some kind of mechanism to allow people to view remotely. But I need to hop.
Okay.
Gimbal Labs is starting.
Do you have the link for Gimbal Labs? Sorry. And that's all in Google, right?
Yeah, I'll just paste it here so people don't have to go hunting for it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure.
And
I'll say goodbye to
Grace.
YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, subscribe, come and see us. Okay.
Okay. Don't close the meeting.